I'm sitting here at Braden Park, where I grew up. Our dad passed away when I was about 10, so that would make Art about 13. And we did grow up here with a single parent. Our mother raised us and did a good job, by the way. Art was so protective of me that when I would go on dates, he would wait at home and watch to see that I got home safely. But one particular time, I got home and my date was giving me a goodnight kiss, and all of a sudden we hear these water balloons coming over the house, and he was at the other side of the house throwing water balloons over to make his presence known. So anyway, he was very protective, and that was one way he let me know that he was there for me.
At Rogers, Art Fleak was a big guy with a big smile. He was All-State in football, went on to play at Oklahoma State. He went there, he said, because he wanted to play for the underdogs and beat OU. And in fact, OSU did beat OU 2 of the years that Art was there.
Art and I were at OSU at the same time, both played for Phil Ketchen, and were both on the offensive side of the ball. Yeah, Art was a very effective offensive lineman, blocking at the line of scrimmage, and with his speed, which was excellent for his size, he would get downfield to the second tier and make his blocks down there. I can remember more than one time where his block sprung her back for an additional 10 or 15, maybe 20 yards. If you had any inclination to be a quitter, it was discovered during workouts, because the workouts were long, they were tough, and they were looking for people that would come up with a reason to quit. And I think it's a reflection on Art, as well as the program at Will Rogers back in the 60s. They raised young men, young athletes that knew how to work and were committed to the program.
He could have had a career in coaching, but chose to go to law school, and he became Tulsa's first juvenile public defender. That means if a teen was arrested and the family could not afford an attorney, Art became his attorney. It was a difficult time for kids because Oklahoma didn't have a juvenile justice code. We were the last state in the union without one. So he wrote a juvenile justice code for the state, and it was passed into law. And it really helped a lot of people because it reduced the number of teens who were put in detention. He spent his entire career that way, defending people who couldn't afford an attorney.
At Will Rogers, Art Fleak was All-State in football. He became a 4-year starter on the Oklahoma State offensive line and was named All-Big 8 Conference, while earning a BS in psychology. Art turned down a coaching position to enter TU Law School and finished the 2-year program in just 3 semesters. In 1973, he became Tulsa County's first juvenile public defender, beginning a lifetime of unselfish devotion to justice for the poor. He worked with counselors, judges, and families who couldn't afford an attorney to keep youthful offenders out of the adult justice system and on a path to rehabilitation. Art was a pioneer in juvenile justice. At the time, Oklahoma was the only state in the nation without a juvenile criminal code, so juveniles had no legal rights. Art wrote a juvenile code for Oklahoma, and within a year it became law, touching countless lives, dramatically improving fairness in the courts, and lowering the incarceration rate for young people. He became one of Tulsa's first federal public defenders. In federal criminal appeals court, where acquittals are rare, Art had both the highest percentage and the highest number of victories. While other attorneys enjoyed more lucrative practices, he handled countless cases without pay. Insisting that everyone deserves a fair trial, he regularly asked for the toughest indigent cases that no one else wanted. Judges and fellow lawyers marveled at his legal knowledge and highly creative strategies. As Art won cases others thought could not be won. He was tenacious, appealing 5 cases all the way to the U.S. Supreme Court, all without pay. During a 2010 police corruption scandal, when dozens of people were wrongly imprisoned, Art's client received a settlement 10 times what some other victims received. When Art died, he was still working to win a reversal for one client whom he believed had been wrongly sentenced to life in prison 25 years before.